Now entering Nerdist.com.
Hey, everybody. It's Razzle here. This is a day late podcast. We've been, busy, swamped over here. Everybody's doing really cool things, and we appreciate you guys for listening and checking out the podcast and all of that. This is a fun episode, kind of an impromptu of sorts. A last-minute thing because I wanted to give you guys something for the week to listen to. So we put this together. We have, as you guys know, guest host extraordinaire. He's been on the show a couple times. Good friend of mine, Andy Haynes. Then with us we have a very, very, very funny, very knowledgeable podcaster and just all-around great person. Been trying to get her on the show for a while, and we talk about that. Her name is Alison Rosen. Formerly from the Adam Carolla's podcasting, and she's got a very great podcast everybody should check out called Alison Rosen is My New Best Friend. And this is a great episode. And Dan is not here because he's at South by Southwest doing awesome shit like you guys have seen if you follow all the social medias on Nerdist and his and all that stuff. So we wish Dan all the best, and he's keep an eye out for everything he's doing, and he's doing a lot of cool things. And So, without further ado, let's get into this episode. It's a really good, fun episode. I think it's number 80. I think I'm looking at Aristotle as I say this right now so we can pull it up. And I'm just going to vamp here, as they say, and talk about how much fun we've been having. Yeah, this is number 80, guys. Holy moly. We've reached what did they say when you turn 40 over the hill? We've reached 2 hills now. 80, episode 80. This is a lot of been fun. You guys have been awesome. I'm going to get sentimental here talking about how we've reached number 80. This is a fun episode, guys. And then we got a couple other fun episodes coming up. I'm going to record a couple tomorrow with some really great guests too. We always have great guests on the show because they love us and we love them and we love you guys. So we want to put out the best shows we can. Here's Today We Learned number 80 with Alison Rosen.
Today we learn. Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Today We Learn. This one's a day late and $1 short. How things get around here in the world of everything. Dan is, as the listeners know who follow him on the interwebs and the social medias, he's doing very cool things in Austin, Texas, at South by Southwest, like going to see Fast and the Furious 7 without me. And watching cars drive through the air into skyscrapers and out of skyscrapers, which I'm very excited about. So we got our Andy Haynes is filling in for Dan, as you know. You remember him.
Sorry, guys.
And we have a very wonderful guest. We've been trying to get her on the podcast for a while. We've been tweeting and DMing back and forth and all of that jazz. And you can listen to her podcast, which is a very great podcast. Alison Rosen is Your New Best Friend. Obviously, her name is Alison Rosen, ladies and gentlemen.
That's me, and I'm very excited to be here. And yeah, we've been planning this, and by planning, I mean you'll send me an email being like, hey, are you available in half an hour? For months and months and months now.
Yeah.
But today it worked out.
Yeah, it's there's been when we first started, it was like, hey, what are you doing in a couple weeks? Or we planned it out.
Yes.
Then, like, you had a kid, I believe, right?
No,
or you got married, or you were
I got
busy,
married.
or yes, that was it. Then you like out of town or whatever. Then you had your podcasting and Adam Carolla's show you did, and you were always busy doing all of that.
That's right. Yes, then, because oftentimes you would record when I was also recording.
Yes.
But here I am today. It's making me wonder, did I say that I had a kid and that's why I couldn't do it? Because that's very me.
Maybe.
I love that.
Could be. Could have been your dog. Could have been your dog we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Adopt a child to make the lie real.
Yeah.
I have to get a kid.
The thing is, there's so many podcasts these days. It's really hard to get out of doing them unless you go bold. Like, sorry, I just brought a baby home. It's not even mine.
There's a kid in my house right now.
Right, and I can't leave it alone.
I'm Robert Durst. I I just got arrested in New Orleans.
So this is the second podcast I've done today. My favorite so far, though.
Okay.
But
Thank you. What was the first
Thanks.
one? Don't listen to it until after you've listened to this one.
I don't know when this is airing.
This
and
will come out tomorrow.
Oh, then I can't say the other one because that one comes out a day later and it's supposed to be a surprise. I'll tell you guys off mic.
Sure.
though. But
Great.
anyway,
Off mic, and we'll pull a Robert Durst, and we'll keep recording.
what I was going to say was
I'll be honest. Hold on, real quick. I've never seen the Jinx. I just know people are talking about it.
that yes,
feel
this was
weird.
the
That was a
second
good-
Anyways,
podcast
good
in a
pull.
row where
Okay.
the jinxes come up. I haven't seen an episode yet, and
Yeah.
I feel so removed from what everyone's talking about. I
Yeah.
need to go home and watch it. Right?
Well-
Yeah, it's pretty brilliant. Although I kind of told you what happens just now.
Yeah.
Oh, good
Or
thing I
you could
wasn't
just,
listening.
or you could just read.
Yeah, you can.
Nobody listens to him ever. No. Or you could just read the Wikipedia like I did last night to find out who this dude was.
Well,
'Cause-
now is that a spoiler for you? Because actually, it's already if there's an
already
element
spoiled.
of spoiling, it's already happened because I saw on Twitter
I-
last night what happened.
I
And
don't think,
I don't think it
you're gonna
spoils
miss
it.
anything.
Yeah.
I don't really because it's not really like
True.
It's not like you're confused about this guy. It's just interesting, you know. Like you're like, wow, this guy's like kind of evil, but I like him. It's like
Yeah.
that weird.
Well, and it almost had to been. It was perfect timing because you almost had to really enjoy it. To get that 4D element, the dude got arrested, so he's clearly guilty, right? So that's kind of the like if it was a new if you and I started watching it in February and we were watching it and talking about it like everybody was doing,
Right.
and speculating. And then we see that the dude got arrested. Then it's like, holy cow, we've been following this for a while.
Right.
But we know he's going to get arrested. So to me, I'm not going to waste 6 hours watching it because I already know the dude did it.
Oh
And he
well,
got
so
a
then
cop.
for
know what I
you
mean?
it was spoiled.
Yes, it was
'Cause
very much spoiled.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
sorry.
still want to go back and watch it.
I think it's worth
Yeah.
watching. I think
Okay.
that guy's a really talented. Andrew
Jarecki.
Jarecki is a very talented
Yeah.
young man.
He did that.
Capturing the Freedmans.
Yeah, and he also did
Oh.
one based off of it. He did a fictional movie based on the
The
whole
Robert
scenario.
Durst thing called
Yes.
All
All
Good
About
Ones or something.
Something.
All About Ones or
All
All Good
Good
Ones or All Good
Deeds.
Things or something like that.
All
with,
Good Deeds.
with the
I think.
gauze.
Yeah,
With the gauze.
Oh.
Yeah.
dramatic gauze role.
Yeah. As
the
the Robert
gauze.
Durst role. I just find it interesting that there's all these. It was like there's an advent. Of these like docu-series that are really. They're like on cables and things like that, or like Serial, or like this. Then now you have the that Going Clear type docu-series coming out, and all these docu-series that are really spurning movements with social media and almost change. Like they caught this dude, Robert Durst, because of this show was really
Yeah.
doing, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah, it's weird. Like HBO, man. Shout out to HBO because like this week or last week tonight, it's like The Daily Show
Yes.
with sharper teeth.
Holy moly!
And then Vice is like an actually amazing show. Like they really do some pretty amazing. Like I don't really like Vice. I think it's this weird.
I was
like
going to say that's my problem with watching Vice is getting past the fact that it's Vice.
yeah, like I don't really like the magazine because I feel like it's this nihilistic, like
Yes,
entitled
almost
art school,
sociopathic.
yeah, sociopathic thing. But then the TV show is like really profound and kind of like it's done way more delicately. And
Okay, I'll give it a chance
Yeah.
then.
what I found out today, just by finally reading the credits, is Bill Maher is one of the EPs, so maybe
Oh, wow.
he's putting some nicer touches on
Yeah.
it. But it's really well done.
Andy got like that last week tonight with John Oliver, which is not only hilarious, but it's like a legitimate causal like news show.
Yeah, they get, like,
it's not just them making fun of the news or whatever, like the Daily Show or Colbert. They actually go after topics that need reform, like
Like news activism.
absolutely.
Yes.
Like just today, I watched last night's episode was about the NCAA and March Madness and all of that. And I'm not a sports fan, but I'm a huge advocate for people who earn money and like the NCAA and all these colleges make so much money off these college athletes that half of them can't even afford lunch because they're or whatever. And last week or 2 weeks ago, they took on John Oliver and them. They took on the smoking industry and the advertising and all of that. And it's just
Tobacco, yeah.
big tobacco, and they take on all these causes that are actual.
Yeah, they took
Some
on...
people wouldn't really think about how how in quotations, evil they technically are because
corrupt,
of
right?
Well, like corporate personhood
Yes.
is what they
Yes.
like tackled, because like tobacco companies have gone through the WTO now, and like when tobacco has been like outlawed in places, or like advertising has been outlawed, they'll now go to these countries where they know that they're like, in America they can't really like fight back because we have two. I know it's not perfect, but we have a strong legal system. There's like all these precedent, but like they can go to like these small countries who try to outlaw smoking or try to outlaw like the forceful, like advertising and kind of approaching the youth and things like that. And the tobacco companies will actually like go into the WTO and be like, this is like unfair to us because now we can't sell cigarettes as effectively, and they'll win.
Yeah.
And because like,
Right.
Tobacco company has like way more money than most developing countries do in their whole like gross domestic whatever economy. Anyways, I'm going to stop talking. This is why I get frowny faces when you announce me on Twitter. Did you see that, Aristotle?
Did you actually get a frowny face?
There's one guy that's just coming after me. He's come after me, and it was just, he would prefer your regular host.
Really?
Yeah.
Someone frowned you
Twice now. He's given
Really?
me some
You
frowny
look so
faces.
happy to hear this.
That amazes me because
He hates me. That's what he brings me
It
on.
makes me laugh because I have another podcast called Picking Favorites, and I'm that guy on that podcast. Like, so many people will comment and be like, Razzle's not funny, or get him off. He talks over everybody, or 4 hosts is too many, get rid of Razzle, and it's always like, it's always me.
What if
gonna-
I'm that guy on my own podcast?
It's just you?
No. I'm just saying, what if I were?
Do you have a co-host?
Well, actually, okay, so I do 2 podcasts a week. I do a Monday one-on-one episode, and so that one is just me. And then I have a group of us on Thursday.
Nice.
And there's definitely people that get the frowny faces on that one. There's like, this guy's not funny, he's boring, he's bringing it down, But I feel like any group of people, I'm sure people felt like Joey was ruining Friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's just the internet. It's like the greatest things I've ever done in my career. Like, there's somebody that writes meh below it, and it's just like, well, I guess, the good for them.
Yeah. Allison,
Yes.
we like to start off as though we've already started, though. We like the guest to provide a fact about themselves or something they learned recently. So if you have any fun facts about yourselves or about your
Myself.
multiple
Well,
personalities.
there's just one of me as of right now.
Which Alison Rosen
Or
are we
something.
talking to?
Right. Well, here's something that I just learned. You had said a fun fact you just learned, and I'm wondering
that
how
works
fun
also.
you want it to be.
It doesn't mean
because this one's
there's
not
no
fun.
rules. It could be something about how many people are murdered every day in some weird country. It's
It's not even like that. I just want to impress upon the listener the
Yes.
last minuteness
Yeah.
of this.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, what have I learned recently? Well, yesterday I learned, and again, I'm sorry to make so many apologies. I'm now apologizing for making apologies about it. It's really going to fall flat.
Yeah.
In fact, I should just leave right now. But everyone probably already knows this, but I did get clarification that if you have the lid on a pot and you're boiling it, it will boil faster than if the lid's not on it.
Yeah.
Huh.
Does everyone
Really?
know that? Does
I didn't
anyone
know that.
care
I
about
did.
that?
But
You
I
did
only know that because I just know so much useless information.
Well, it's not entirely useless if you're trying to boil water.
It's
Another
because
So you
a fun
put a
fact
lid on
about
it.
me: I cannot soft boil an egg.
I have never tried
hold on.
to.
What is soft boiling an egg like?
It's okay. So imagine a hard-boiled egg.
Okay.
So it's in the shell, but when you
Yes.
crack it open, the white is cooked, but the yolk is runny.
It's like
What?
a poached egg in
but
the
in
shell.
the shell,
Yeah.
right? So I was trying to do this yesterday. The first one came out hard. It was a hard-boiled egg. The next 3 were raw, and I thought, I can't believe I can't do this. This seems like it should be really easy. And then I was trying to boil the water, and then hence the factoid that I learned, and now that I bequeath to the listeners.
So how do you actually make? Well, not you. How does someone who can make them make a soft boiled egg?
I think you put it in the water for 2 to 3 minutes, but that
it's
wasn't
already
working
got to be
for me.
boiling then,
Is
right?
there like
I don't. Maybe, yeah.
Is there
yes.
kind of ice baths or anything like
Well,
that?
you do want to put it in cold water after to stop the cooking, because otherwise it'll continue cooking in the
okay.
shell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a flash cook. Like it cooks the outside really fast, and then you cool it off before it has a
Right.
chance
It's almost
to.
like you blanch the egg.
Yeah.
Sure. It's just like that.
That's wild. I didn't know that. I wonder if it's because, as far as with the lid goes, if it's because there's nowhere for the
It's pressure.
The pressure inside
That's why
forces it to heat up.
That's like the
faster.
same reason why it takes longer to boil at a higher altitude
I think
or lower altitude.
Well, see, I had this exact thought yesterday. I think that things cook faster at a higher altitude because there's less pressure, hence the confusion. So it's sort of for a second, that was my thought. I thought, well, if the lid is adding pressure, it's going to actually take longer to boil. But the thing is, the temperature, when you put the lid on, the whole thing just gets hot faster because all the heat isn't escaping as it would if the lid is off.
That would make sense, but is it higher you go, the atmosphere is thinner, right? There's less oxygen.
Yes.
So
I don't know.
things boil faster up there.
Man,
The thing is, the lid is not airtight. If it were airtight, then I think it would
There'd
counteract
be a pressure
it.
cooker,
Yes,
right?
Yes.
Wouldn't that be?
Yeah, and then that would take longer.
There'd be too much pressure. That's why pressure cookers have that thing on the top that whistles and slowly lets out the pressure so it doesn't explode. I think
That's what the bomb in the Boston Marathon was.
Yeah.
It was a pressure
right.
cooker. Yeah. Creepy.
But I have another fact
Absolutely.
that relates to what we were talking about before. The most prosperous industry in this country over the last, I wish I remembered the time period, but on my podcast I brought this up and I had people guess, and people guessed like entertainment or cars and it's tobacco.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That even kind of puzzles me because like you look at the video game industry and the video game industry just demolishes TV or books or movie or anything like that. And those are sold almost as often as feel like cigarettes. But then again, I guess with all the taxes and all that, tobacco...
There's something insane. Like if you invested $1 in tobacco in 1930, it'd be worth like $3 million or billion now or
is
something
that
like
specifically just tobacco, or is that the parent companies also like Philip Morris and all the other companies they own?
I mean, I think it's... there's not really like independent tobacco. I mean, there is, but it's not. That's not what they're talking about. They're talking about those big companies.
Yeah, I believe they are. Yeah,
and it's I don't know. It's crazy because it's like it's almost like now we think of tobacco as like insane. Like because like I just quit smoking cigarettes like a month ago.
Oh, how's it going?
It's great. I have like a vapor thing that is helping me get along the way.
Smells
although
like maple syrup.
yeah, I try to not bring it anywhere because I'm ashamed of myself because I look like a dude from Huntington Beach. But yeah, it's insane. It just like gets everybody. It's like they did the best job of marketing.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Oh, they did. I mean, and they could almost like they could almost try and like they could make twice as much if they kept making their cigarettes. But if they also made like vapors or made you know these gums or whatever to help people quit smoking, because they'd be making money off of the people who want to quit, but people are going to continue smoking regardless. Like you're never going to end smoking, no matter even if everybody on the planet knew how bad smoking was for you.
Which I think they do.
I think they do. Yeah, I don't think anybody has any like
illusions.
Yeah. Nobody thinks that's a conspiracy theory. You smoke a cigarette, you're like, yeah, I'm killing myself.
Is that still a rite of passage? I mean, does every kid still try smoking? Really?
I've never drank or smoked.
Are you straight edge, or you just?
I mean, according to the rules of straight edge, yes, but I'm not because I don't. The label kind of labeling yourself straight edge to me.
You drink caffeine?
I drink caffeine.
Dude, you're not straight edge.
It's kind of almost going against the idea of being straight edge,
right?
Of the label, that's just me though. But
right, well, that's like the people who say that. Well, certain people are turning atheism into a religion. Like, isn't the whole point that we're trying to get away from religion?
It's almost like the Groucho Marx quote. I wouldn't want to be a part of a club that would have me as a member or whatever. It's like very much that. It's like you're so atheist, you're creating your own. An organized religion of atheism.
So what I took from this is you are straight edge.
I am straight edge, and I only listen to bands from your hometown, the OC.
Gotcha.
Orange County.
So
She's from Orange County.
Are you curious about drinking and smoking?
Not really. I mean, drinking maybe. I'd probably be better with the ladies if I drank because I can be very uptight and I can be whatever. But I also like being in control of every situation I'm in. I like to drive. I like to be in charge of coming and going places. I just, for safe wise, and then a lot of it is the health. I'm not. I don't preach against anything, whatever anybody wants to do. Like all my friends drink and all that, aside from like Andy and all that. But I like it's. I'm not. I guess I'm maybe would have been curious if you asked me 5 years ago, but now it's like, it's just not my thing. I mean, I'm 33 years old. I've never done it. It's like, I don't know what I'm missing. Do you know what I mean?
Well, to speak to that idea that you would be better with the ladies, I remember, so I quit drinking a while ago, and dates right after I stopped drinking I was so awkward and so self-conscious and so aware of like every little movement. And I remember I was sitting in this hotel room with this guy that I was very, very casually dating, but he lived out here and I was living in New York, and he flew to New York to visit me. And I was sitting on his bed, and it was at the end of the night, and I felt so like I wanted to kind of I just felt that my body language was not inviting towards him, and that was my natural reaction. My natural reaction was like, I don't think this is going anywhere.
Yeah.
But I wondered if I were in my normal, had a few drinks in me state that I would normally be in when I'm dating, would I be pushing through that and making myself make out with him, or how would this normally go? In fact, my husband is, of all the guys I've ever... All the many, many... I'm a real slut, you guys. Of all the guys I've ever been romantically involved with, my husband is the only one that I've never been drunk around.
Wow.
Which is weird. It's weird for me to think that.
It's
That's great.
It definitely is a thing, because it's like, especially if the person if the guys you're dating, or like the girls I'm going out on dates with, they're drinking or whatever. There's part of me too where, I'm self-conscious that they might be judging me that I'm not drinking, or it's kind of weird that they're drinking and I'm not
that's
drinking.
like a big... It's such a dangerous
it's a slope, because then again, it's like, look, even if you're not hammered, I still have a slight bit where it's like, yeah, you're intoxicated, and like, would you make out with me if you weren't intoxicated, type of a thing, like that. And it's
that slippery slope.
It's kind of the
to
gentleman
Cosby
me.
land.
That's where it always goes.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it's the same thing. It's like I've dated a few people, and it's funny because like if you're dating like, and somebody gets trashed, like it's not a big deal. Like when I was married, my wife would get wasted and want to hook up, and I'd be like, this is horrible, but we're married. Yeah. But now it's like if I'm dating a girl and she gets a little drunk, it's like I have to kind of be like, I don't feel comfortable. Yeah. Because like I don't know, especially if it's like around the first kind of beginning, you're like, I don't know how you're going to wake up and feel about this.
Yeah.
Well, that's so interesting, because I think that's a probably uniquely guy kind of concern. Did you always have that, or is that like when you were in your teen years, would you have had the same thoughts?
I mean, I definitely always was trying to be conscious of. I was always trying to be conscious of consent, because that was like such a thing that was like programmed into your mind as a boy, was like, don't rape people.
Yeah.
These are all the different manifestations of rape.
Right.
Yeah.
And, it got pushed on you that like, it was like, you can rape somebody if you just stop thinking for a second. I don't want to.
The last decade, even from 21 on, being able to go to bars and all of that, there's so much of the date rape drug mentality type of a thing where intoxication, fingers can get pointed, and it's like I'm even uncomfortable on occasion just being alone with girls I've just met, like that are drunk, even if taking them home, even if they're like a friend of a friend or whatever, because you never know. And this day and age, it's always their word against yours. I'm not saying all women are.
Oh, that is what you're saying.
Hashtag all women.
I'm Lena Dunham.
Yeah.
I mimed taking a mask off.
Yeah.
I don't know why she would be here, but it seemed like a lady to mention.
Yeah. Here's a fact we were debating earlier. I don't know if it was, we were always recording, so it might be on the beginning. I'm not sure.
Christ, real or not?
Yeah. But AD. We were talking about AD and the AD in BC, and BC straight up means before Christ. But AD is Latin, medieval Latin, Anno Domini, which translates to in the year of the Lord. So I thought it was like Antos Dominos or something, but I guess it's similar to that. Anno Domini is what AD means.
But many people in the room thought it meant after death.
Yeah, which isn't surprising because BC is straight up before Christ. Like, they didn't Latinify that at all.
Wait, so is the year 0 when he died or when he was born?
When he was born.
He was born in 0.
Yes.
That's so weird.
I think so.
Isn't that weird that all our time is based off a thing none of us really believe in?
Yes.
Right?
That's weird.
Yeah.
Like time, like we started counting
Well, I mean, was it like, hey, you guys, it's 6 months AD, or did it start at 1?
I'm trying to find out.
We need a timologist.
It doesn't say anything about year 0 or anything like that. I know it counted back. Like, that's a weird thing, too, is
right.
BC. BC is all, like...
Backwards.
Right,
Yeah.
like 800 BC is before...
800 years before Christ.
300 BC.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
longer ago.
800 BC would be 2,815 years ago.
I'm sorry, I did not understand anything you just said.
So if this is... If the year today is 2015...
Yes.
After Christ,
right.
then 800 BC would be from today, 2,815 years.
Christ,
correct. Yeah, I was warned this is a Christian podcast. Pete Holmes is going to come walking in any minute. You know that he used to be super.
I think
all
he
for
secretly
Jesus.
still is.
Is he? He might be.
I don't know.
My dad's a gospel singer, if we're talking about Christ.
Yeah,
Is that true?
Yeah, I'm going to...
Polish gospel.
I believe it or not, he's in Florida right now doing some shows, and I'm going. A bunch of my family's flying down there Wednesday, and we're going to do like a little family hangout. But he's I actually
that's cool.
He's a gospel singer saxophonist, way better saxophonist than he is a singer.
I like gospel music when I used to hear it. Like, did you guys go to schools, urban schools? Because they would always do gospel songs in our assemblies.
I went to
I'm from Orange
County.
County.
Urban, yeah.
Oh yeah, there like aren't any black people.
No. I mean, maybe I saw one.
I'll tell you what, I love gospel choir.
Dennis Rodman.
Like I love that black gospel choir. Like it's that's singing.
Or like those old people like Mahalia Jackson.
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
So your dad is a black gospel singer.
I'm albino
Polish.
Yeah.
Gospel singer.
No, he's he can play the saxophone too. I'll tell you what.
While he sings, amazing.
Wow.
Very talented. He's got 2 mouths.
So now it's just horrifying.
Yeah. Praise God for both those mouths. No. Orange County. So you're from Orange County. Mm-hmm. It is the 3rd most populous county in California and the 6th most populous in the United States.
I did not know that at all.
Wow, 6 is high.
6 is high for as spread out as small as you think Orange County is, considering you would think you got like, Cook County is Chicago. Mm-hmm. You'd have like the New York counties.
Is Dade County huge? You're from Florida.
Dade County's from Florida, yeah.
Dade County seems huge, but it's kind of spread out.
I mean, if we're going to say the 6th biggest county, I feel like we need to know the top 5. If that's readily available for you.
Most populous counties.
1, 2, 3. I don't know if these are in order here. Count. List of counties and counties per division. These are just county statistics of the United States. I'm trying to find the list.
So it's a Christian census podcast.
Just trying to find out how many people have been saved.
Okay, here we go. Yes, so the top 10 populous counties nationwide. Number 1, Los Angeles, with 9.8 million. Number 2, Cook County, Illinois, which is the Chicago area, with 5.1. 3 is Harris County, Texas. 4 is Maricopa County, Arizona.
Phoenix.
5 is San Diego County.
San Diego.
6 is Orange County.
Orange County.
Kings County, New York.
That's Brooklyn.
Miami-Dade is number 8 with 2.4
I'm on
million.
the board.
Dude,
Yep.
Yeah, you got it.
Survey says number 9, Dallas County, Texas, obviously. And number 10 is Queens County.
Queens, New York.
Got it. You're like his county hype man.
Yeah.
Queens, New York. It's like that.
I have to tell you, from my experience on the Adam Carolla show, when you do top 10 lists and you start with number 1, which I used to do, people lose their mind almost as much as when you chew on a podcast.
Really?
It's weird.
So they want you
to do it in reverse order. Huh. Yeah.
Guys, I almost put a piece of gum in my mouth before this podcast started. And then I thought about all the frowny faces. And I said, no way.
The smallest population counties out of the 10, 5 of them are from Nebraska.
It's weird. You'd think they would be like Dakotas.
Yeah.
Dakotas representing.
Mm-hmm. Have you spent any time in the Dakotas?
I took a train through North Dakota. Got off a couple times to smoke a cigarette.
Back to cigarettes.
That was before quitting, which is all time to me now is BQ and Anto Soludale.
So the quitting has not been that hard for you since you have a vape pen?
Yeah, don't tell anybody, please.
Does anyone listen to this podcast?
Just like 20,000 people All in LA County. Yeah, I mean, it's helped, but it's like I don't want to smoke anything. I definitely don't feel as sick as I did. I don't have like that. Like I've been training for a half marathon and then also playing soccer, and I'm just like so much more. I have so much more endurance, which is nice. Ran 6 miles the other day nonstop, guys. I was real in it.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
What's the hardest time for you? Like, what's the hardest?
I don't really have
like
hard times anymore, just because I think it honestly like quitting drinking and quitting pot. I don't know. Maybe I'll switch up on this, but like all those things seem gross to me. They all seem like getting fucked up seems gross, and also like putting a cigarette in my mouth seems like just kind of toxic and weird. I don't know.
I mean, again, not to preach about things I don't do. Like, we're all in agreement here, I feel like, but it's you're putting a foreign like just knowing that you need to breathe the air. I mean, I don't even like walking behind cars that are running just because you get this gas going.
Nobody likes to just consistently walk behind a car that runs. I mean, that's just weird. And that's, to me, that's like my view on smoking, to where it's like, you're even like with weed and all those other drugs, is it's like, I can't even, and then to go straight to like, to go to the hardcore drugs that people do, like heroin and all that, blows my mind, just because you're putting this, this dark, viscous fluid in your veins.
I think the feeling, and I've never done heroin, but I think that the feeling must be so good that it instantly wipes away the other association. Because I know that I had surgery about, it was in September or October? September. And they gave me Versed before they put me under. And the feeling was so good.
Yeah.
Because I could think of any disturbing thought and nothing upset me. I was like, I was aware of it. I was actually, it's sort of like when you're, like if you go to the dentist and you're numb or something and you're like touching your face.
Yeah.
I was mentally numb in a way where I was purposefully trying to conjure up disturbing thoughts. And I'm like, nothing bothers me. And I'm so relaxed. Mm-hmm. And if that drug was available outside of a hospital, I can't say that I wouldn't be trying to find it.
Yeah.
I might have already Googled it.
Yeah, that if you listen to the late Harris Whittles on the Pete Holmes podcast, he talks about the first time he did heroin, and he said that it was like his entire body, like seconds into it, was like his entire body was having an orgasm. He was like, he said that the second he did it, he was like, he goes, "Oh, I do heroin now." He says it's a really good podcast to listen to, not just because he's so funny, but also because
so funny.
The
very
tragic,
guy.
Yeah,
very talented. It's a bummer that there's not. It kind of bewilders me to an extent, to where there's not a legal form of that safe. Do you know what I mean? Like if you want to make millions of dollars, tobacco industry, make some form of a opiate. Make a liquid opiate or whatever, other than booze or whatever. That's like a safe, that gives you that effect of heroin, I guess. But it's safe and it doesn't. It's not. You're not gonna overdose by.
This Christian podcast is getting really weird.
It's really strange.
Here's a thing. If you had to pick what are some of your favorite board games? What are some of your favorite kids games or games you used to play as a kid or whatever?
Oh, I was gonna say Taboo, but that's not that's not a board game. I mean Monopoly, but there was a point in Monopoly where I'm like, I can't play this anymore. It's each game just lasts too long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was gonna say sort of like that. I was gonna name a podcast that's like 3 hours or something. And I thought,
Pete Holmes podcast.
No, I'm not gonna name. And then I thought, why am I gonna name some friend's podcast?
Yeah.
And mine can be kind of long too. Anyway, let's see. Monopoly. What were the other fun games?
I used to play Parcheesi a lot as a kid. I don't even remember how to play it, but that was a game.
Stratego.
Yeah, Stratego was
pretty fun.
The reason I ask is because Connect 4 was always a fun one.
Oh, yes, that's a good one.
Huge fan of Connect 4. The game was first sold under the famous Connect 4 trademark by Milton Bradley in 1974. So Connect 4 is relatively...
older.
Yeah, Connect 4. It always... Every now and then we'll have like games and stuff like that on here because you think they're so old, but 1974 is fairly... I mean, that's new. Like,
well, the funny thing is that it seems like it is, but I feel like to someone younger,
fair enough.
Perhaps
Aristotle,
who does not have a mic, he can just nod. Aristotle, does 1974 sound like a long time ago? All right, that was a bad example.
But yeah, it's
52 years old.
Oh wow,
His name's
incredible.
Aristotle.
Yeah.
he's on a vegan diet. I mean, he is, but that's
What about
not
Blocko? Isn't that a game?
Blocko.
Isn't that what it's called? Blocko? Never mind.
Boggle.
No, there's like a weird...
Jenga?
My friend worked in a board game shop, and there was this game, I want to say it was called Blocko, but if anybody knows, we're not going to Google it.
Well,
but
I might have it pulled up if it's what I'm thinking. That's one of my favorite games ever. But
what's
tell
it
me what
called?
your game is first.
It's like almost like you build these little... It's like a board, but you're building pieces together. I'm trying
yeah, boom, Blockus.
Blockus.
The best motherfucking game in the world aside from
Have you
Settlers
played
of
it?
Catan.
Never even heard of
Holy
it.
So
moly.
fucking good.
Dude, it's so fun. I'm going to pull it up here.
I can't believe you... That's a deep cut, dude.
Yeah, Blockus.
Wow.
We play this. I play this a lot with my buddy
great
Kyle
game.
and them. It's a great game, and it's a square, and it's there are these Tetris pieces. These aminos they're called.
Aminos.
Well, and I mean the only reason I say aminos is because I learned this looking up. There's polyaminio. There's a tetraminio. Like where domino comes from, and it's based off of their squares. Like if there's 4 squares together, then it's called a tetramino, I believe, and it's all based on how many-
Tetromino.
Yeah,
But I don't think it would be tetra, because tetra sounds like 3.
maybe that's a 3 square thing, and then
Yeah.
polyamino is more, and then domino is 2
2.
squares. But
Oh,
it's,
I never even thought about that.
it's Blockus.
Polyomino.
Blockus was invented by a gentleman by the name of Bernard Tavitian, or Tavitian, and first released in 2000 by Sequoia, a French company. Pronounced Blockus. It's you spell it Blokus. It was later sold to Mattel in 2009, and what it is you have these Tetris pieces, and you get 21 pieces, and they're all different shapes. And the point is, there's different ways you can play the game, but you want to have as least amount of squares as possible at the end, and that's like, so say you have a piece that's 4 squares connected up like an L, so that's technically 4 points. And you connect them on this grid board, and you can only touch the corner. So you can't have your sides of these squares touching. You can only touch the corner of it. So you end up building and snailing through all these other colored pieces that are touching corners, and the object is to have the least amount of pieces at the end. And there's so many different strategies and stuff. You can be offensive, you can be defensive, and you can straight up like block people and prevent them from building.
Hence
but then,
Blockus.
yeah. But then when you do
But
that,
also it's blocks.
Right.
but when if
Clever.
you block someone completely, then you're also kind of screwing yourself over because that
You cock Blockus.
you cock block us. Yeah.
Caucus
Story of my life.
Blockus.
Yeah. Yeah.
a
Blockus is a fun game.
political
It's total of 400 squares. It's a grid of 20 by 20.
So Blockus, send us some swag, dude.
Yeah. Blockus, send them some stuff. Skittles
Thing
does.
never came through.
Yeah.
Jerks.
I was listening to your show, and so you got free Skittles? Because
Yeah.
I also did. Is there like some podcast fan at Skittles?
It's got to be.
Yeah.
It's got to be. Somebody's listening
Right.
to it. I could pull up the email or whatever, but there's a couple of them, and like
Did you get a Skittles tote bag as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice.
it was nice. And it was like full of so many Skittles. And then they're like, tweet us if you're out.
Yes.
So then nonchalantly before Christmas, I'm like, I'm out of Skittles. Before Christmas time, they sent me this box.
Really?
So full of Skittles.
Maybe I need to
It
do
was
that
amazing. Tweet them. They said to tweet them.
So a box full of bags of Skittles?
Yes.
Okay.
It was so many Skittles.
Just loose Skittles. They sweep them up off the factory.
It was like the bulk store at the, it was like just a box of empty.
See, the thing is, on my podcast, we got into a thing where pretty frequently we were ranking the flavors of Skittles.
Okay.
Because we're pretty passionate about that.
Yeah.
And they heard that, and so that's what they sent the Skittles. And then everywhere I'd go, I mean, not to exaggerate,
Yeah.
but literally everywhere I
Everywhere,
went, a fan would hand me Skittles. Skittles became my thing. And the thing is, I never...
You're like
don't-
Marshawn Lynch.
Don't listen. That's right. Don't listen, Skittles.
Skittles.
I
turn this off
never
right now.
said I loved Skittles personally. I just like to talk about flavors, and
Yeah.
I like to talk about which flavors are
Yeah.
my favorite. But there are people on my show who do genuinely love Skittles. But I was like, how? It's weird that this became my thing. I should have talked about something else.
Yeah, like Rolos. Rolos, send us some Rolos. See,
Yeah.
like, I love Skittles, but I also don't because they're sugary. And
I like Justin's almond butter. If you could send me, it's $14 a jar.
It's expensive.
Justin, send us some stuff, dude.
yeah, Justin, send
Like
us
a, like
some.
a whole bunch of pouches, right? It comes in a pouch.
Exactly. I get those pouches. Justin, step it up, man. You don't know how many times I've plugged Justin, and he has not reached out at all.
Yeah. Let's see here. I'm trying to find it. Is it who's it owned by. It's just there's no Wikipedia page for Justin Zellman.
Philip Morris.
What?
They own everything.
It's made from those roaches in Snowpiercer. Oh no, I gave
Spoiler
away.
alert. It's a great movie, by the way.
Yeah. If you have, what's the timeline, Allison, on a spoiler alert?
You can never spoil anything ever.
Really?
I think that's the rule because people
Come on.
lose their mind
That's
over.
horseshit. I don't do it.
I don't.
But
There
it's
should.
like,
I mean, it's
still like Usual Suspects. I still can't spoil Usual.
Just kidding.
I do like that reaction. Like
That's
that.
what they do.
That's great. Yeah.
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 Kaiser Soze is Kevin Spacey. Spoiler
I
alert.
think
No, Kevin Spacey's Kaiser Soze.
the spoiler fear has gotten out of control
Yes.
at this point. It's like you can barely even bring up anything without people getting upset.
I agree. I think
People still don't even want to know that I'm on this podcast. Don't spoil it.
I feel like there's maybe a month for TV show. Man, see, I don't even. That's
It's
the thing.
definitely longer than a month, I think.
But it's like that thing with the Robert Durst thing.
If a major
like
movie
the
comes
Jinx,
out.
like every news story in America today is about him getting arrested.
Yeah.
So it's
Well,
kind
see,
of
that's different though, because I don't think you can spoil reality. I mean, that is a true crime,
That's a
real
good
thing
point.
versus a fictional thing is different.
yeah. Okay, good point.
But why? What were you going to spoil something? Because I say go for it.
No. I'm not going to spoil
I'm all about
anything.
spoiling things because I like to just keep up with things or don't go on the internet.
I like to say
Like,
spoiler
it's like-
alert when I see a car with a spoiler.
I think that's funny too.
It's a new game. It's like Slug Bug.
Yeah,
Punch
you go
Buggy.
spoiler alert,
And
and
you
then
punch your friend.
it's like, whatever those cars are.
We were talking about candies, so if you're a candy company, send us free Rolos because I really like Rolos.
And Lindt chocolates.
You're so fancy. You're like an artisanal human.
Yes, I am. I'm a young Fraser Crane.
Well, he's got a Patagonia hat.
Yep.
I don't know what that means, but I feel like it's a high class company of some form.
Patagucci, dude.
It's a coat company, right?
It's like a nice, it's like a high end outdoor wear stuff, and they make stuff that is really designed for like going outdoors and doing that stuff. But most people are just wearing it for the color combos. Get with it. Aristotle knows what's up. Kinda.
Wait, now that we know your taste, what do you shampoo with, and what kind of soap do you use?
Well, I was using
Yes.
Kiehl's.
Oh yes, of course you were.
And then I was recently moved to Avita because they have a better hair thinning formula.
Gotcha.
So I'm trying to get
So
that
you
hair
use
back.
that. So that's perfect. You use the high end hair stuff. What soap do you use?
I have a few. I have Dr. Bronner's for like a post soccer match, but I have a couple different Kiehl's combos.
What do you clean your house with?
Myers.
Of course. Oh man. What else? Let's see.
That's amazing.
What kind of detergent do you use when you wash your clothes?
It's like something from Whole Foods.
I don't know any of these names.
They're all
Like
Whole
hippy
Foodsy.
dippy
Yeah.
Whole Foodsy.
Is Whole Foods your primary?
No. Trader Joe's
course.
is like the go-to, and then I kind of mix it up. Like I like one specific kind of tortilla chip, so I got to make lots of runs to get that. And they don't sell it at they only sell the kind of salsa I like at Vaughn, so I got to go to Vaughn's
Oh my
to get
God! You got to
salsa.
give your salsa money to the man.
You're giving
There
it
is
to
a
the
salsa
peasants?
that I've gotten addicted to. It's called Mrs. Renfro's, I think, and they have a habanero salsa that is so fucking spicy. It's the best.
Yeah, it looks like.
Maybe they'll send you that.
Mrs. Renfro, I'm putting down like mortgages worth of money on your habanero
it's
salsa.
packaged like a high end salsa from like Trader Joe's.
But
It's
only-
definitely got the labeling.
That's what caught his
And
eye.
he's like, oh, this looks like something I would buy at my real store.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know what were you even doing in a Vaughn's? Like,
Yeah.
that's
Sometimes
coming down from your tower to the peasant headquarters.
they don't have an ethnic section in Whole Foods, so if you want to get like some sriracha peas,
Yeah.
you gotta slum it.
Here's the thing, Miss Renfro's. Hey, Miss Renfro's, if you're listening, send us some salsa. Miss Renfro's is the brand name for the line of award-winning salsas made by Renfro Foods in Fort Worth, Texas. The Miss Renfro's
New York City.
Get a
That's what I
rope.
rope. The Miss Renfro's brand is sold in leading supermarket chains, gift shops, etc. Renfro Foods was founded in 1940
Yes.
and began producing salsa products in 1972
Yes.
after acquiring Olay Foods.
I wonder what they made for those 32 years.
Yeah. Doesn't say. It just says
Dog testing collars.
It says Renfro Foods. Oh, okay. Well, here we go. Renfro Foods is privately owned, award-winning food producer of salsas. Was founded in 1940 as the George Renfro Food Company. In 1948, the company bought a local syrup manufacturer, and Dixie Lane syrup soon had wide distribution throughout Texas stores.
This sounds
So
like such a
syrups.
great show. Like the rise of a food corporation. Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's write this script, guys.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Based,
It's like
it'll
a-
be based on it's like true crime but with food.
It's
Like a Mad Men kind of Breaking Bad like origin story.
The Wolf of Wall Street meets food.
Yeah. People like food now. People used to not like food. Now they like it.
Guys have a meeting about the size and shape of tortilla chips, and then they go and start doing blow.
I guarantee you that a TV exec has said food is very in right now. Don't you
sure,
think?
yeah.
That's, I mean,
Definitely. Food is
there's
very
so
in
many
right
food
now.
channels.
The kids
on,
are
like,
really into
travel
food.
stuff. But the Rolo was first manufactured in the United Kingdom by Macintosh in 1934. Macintosh was a
Steve Jobs, genius in computers and candy.
Macintosh was a confectionery manufacturer.
Can you see if Macintosh is the same one that makes that big piece of? Do you guys remember that
They
big
make
piece
toffee.
of caramel toffee that you used to
Yeah,
get that had
Macintosh's
like the plaid
toffee.
on it?
Yes, what was that?
I think it was Macintosh's toffee, and it was so hard. It was like this big giant piece of caramel toffee, and I remember just taking all my fillings out with it, and wrenches of different sorts. When I was a kid,
Yes,
when
that was that Macintosh's.
yeah, dude,
Macintosh's
I've-
toffee.
I've never seen that. Maybe they didn't have it on the West Coast, except that you are.
Yeah.
Where are you
from
from?
Seattle.
Okay,
we used to
maybe
get
they
it at
didn't
a
have
place
it in
called
Orange County.
Saladays.
It was at the churches we all went. No,
Boom.
boom, back to the Christian
You're a
podcast.
Hebrew lady, right, Allison?
Well, I'm kind of a nothing, but yes,
Origin-wise.
yes.
When they call you guys in to come back and save the world or whatever.
I'm in. Yeah, exactly. I've got my special phone and everything.
That's so cool. Did you get the call on 9/11?
I didn't. I don't know
Not
why.
us. No, it was just a text.
Yeah. Stay off Manhattan.
And I was like, not us. They need to. They need to
Yeah.
space in there. You know, not us. What does that mean?
Here's the thing. Here's while we start wrapping up here.
Oh, a thing.
While we wrap up here, I don't know if this is a fact I've had on I'll compile facts, and I'll have a list of master facts. And there was a podcast I was absent for, so I'm not sure if Dan talked about this or not, because I don't listen to these anymore. I've learned to not, because I don't like my voice. But playing cards, decks of playing cards, have a lot of coincidence with the year. Like there's 52 weeks in a year.
Oh, hey.
There's 52 cards in a deck. There are 2 colors representing night and day. There are 4 suits representing the 4 seasons. There are 12 court cards that represent the 12 months. There are 13 values representing the 13 lunar cycles. And the 52 cards representing the 52 weeks in a year. And it's all
Where did you
coincidence.
find this?
It's off of on bicyclecards.com.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
under latest news.
It's just it.
Breaking news. It's on BuzzFeed's. You
Shit you
clicked
didn't know
on
about
Robert
cards.
Durst. You might like this.
Have you guys ever had this candy where it's only from England and it comes in like a little cone pouch and it's this fizzy powder and you eat it with a little licorice pipe? I'm not lying. I think it's called soda. Soda.
And it's from the UK.
Type in soda, candy pouch soda, SOD, and it's got like.
I've never even seen it. It sounds exciting, though. It's like fancy lick-a-stick.
Go. I'm gonna have to think of it. Somebody else had it. It's really good. Soda. No, it's not coming up.
It's it's powder,
Candy powder soda.
candy powder, and it's in a cone cup.
Kind of, but the pouch might be like what's throwing off the search. You've never had it?
No.
It's not going to come up anyways.
Well, there's that.
Sorry, guys. Doesn't it feel
Strong
like
ending.
Doesn't it feel like there's a lot of British candy? Like
Yes.
there's like British specific candy shops.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And
No wonder their teeth are so shitty.
well, here's a fun fact I was reading the other day. I don't have the facts in front of me, but UK candy and chocolate, UK chocolate specifically, you can't import it here because like Hershey's and all of that have a monopoly on the type of
Big chocolate.
but it's
like
also
big
different.
chocolate.
UK chocolate is
'cause it's-
way different.
because the
Like, have you
like,
read a Smartie? It's so different than an M&M.
Yeah, we just talked about those on last week's episode with Dom, Dominic Sherwood, a friend of mine. He was from the UK, and he was talking about the Smarties, and it's like
From
an
Lord of the
M&M.
Rings?
No.
Never mind.
That's Dominic
Monaghan.
Monaghan. And as he was talking about how like it's like a M&M, only it's called a Smartie, and it's like a chocolate with a candy coated versus our Smartie, which is a powder.
Right.
But the chocolates overseas are way more almost like real chocolate versus the
What is that?
manufactured
Like palm oil or something?
stuff like that. Yeah, there was we just
Whoa.
It was a
may have
weird
been-
pull. I'm surprised I'm right. I'm not sure
it's
I
something.
am.
It's I mean
I'm impressed.
Thank
there's something. Let's see, UK chocolate, USA. There's something. It's not that, but it's
Well, under news, it says Alison Rosen pulls open chocolate industry. It's crazy
Next on
in
Last
real
Week
time.
Wow.
But it's
Don't
on,
spoil it, don't spoil it.
It's on the bicycle playing card website.
That's where I get all my news. The bicycleplayingcards.com. I don't know. I can't find it here. It's not on here. But there's definitely. We mentioned it on I'm fairly certain we mentioned it on one of the other podcasts. But there's like, they put stuff in the Hershey's and all that. It's not. It doesn't taste like real chocolate, like the UK chocolate, because all the chocolate we're used to is that type of. It's not real chocolate. Here's the deal. I'm the dumb one that normally is on the show. Dan's the much smarter one.
Now you got two dummies.
There we go. Yeah. So, anyways, that's our show. Thanks for everybody listening. Now is the time for you guys to plug whatever you got. So we'll start with you, Allison. Plug plug everything and anything you want to talk about.
Well, please listen to my podcast. Alison Rosen is your new best friend. You can get it on iTunes. You can get it on my website, AlisonRosen.com. Let's see. When you hear this, okay, so we had Casey Wilson that will have just come out when you heard this, and then Lisa May from K-Rock. She was just recently let go from Kevin and Bean, and there's just all sorts of outrage. She's going to be coming on the show and telling her side of what happened, and that'll be the following Monday. And follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Alison Rosen, ALISON Rosen.
Wonderful.
Awesome. I'm Andy Haynes. That's my Twitter handle. It's at I'm Andy Haynes. I'll be at the Madhouse Comedy Club in San Diego April 16th and 17th, I believe. It's whatever that weekend is in the mid-teens. And otherwise, I can't really think of anything. I'm just happy that Allison's here.
Oh, thanks.
We are all happy Allison's here. You can check out the podcast, TWL Podcast, on Twitter, at TWL Podcast. Today We Learned with Razzle and Dan on Facebook. Dan is on Twitter at Osteoferocious, me at My Name is Razzle 2. Send us an email, todaywelearnpodcast@gmail.com. If you're in New York, I'm going to be at the Gotham Comedy Club for the Comedy Juice show on March 31st, Tuesday. And then I'm hosting the Comedy Juice also at the Hollywood Improv on April 1st. It's a Wednesday, so come to those. Those are really, really fun shows. And follow and do everything that Andy and Allison has said to do. And continue listening to the show. We appreciate all your listeners and all your tweets and feedback and comments and iTunes and all that hocus pocus. And we really appreciate it. So, as always, Rolos are awesome.
All things are possible through Christ.
Thanks, everybody.
Now leaving Nerdist.com.